Protect yourself at all times, and what I say you must obey. Good luck to both of you. Touch them up, God bless.
No matter what, I love you.
Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao already gave boxing one of the biggest events in history, and somehow, one of the most disappointing. In 2015, millions of people paid to watch what was sold as the fight of a generation. The money was historic. The hype was everywhere. The names were legendary. But when the final bell rang, a lot of fans had the same reaction. That was it? Now, more than 10 years later, the same two names are back. Mayweather, Pacquiao. Again, Netflix announced the rematch. Las Vegas was back in the picture. The rivalry that once dominated sports media was suddenly alive again. But almost immediately, there was a problem. Nobody seemed completely sure what this rematch actually was. Mayweather called it an exhibition. Pacquiao said the contract he signed was for a real fight. Netflix originally announced the event for September 19, 2026, at Sphere in Las Vegas. Then Eagles announced a Sphere concert on that same date. And now, the latest reporting says the fight may move to September 26th, likely to MGM Grand, but Netflix has not officially confirmed that update. So before anyone even gets to the ring, the story already has confusion, contradiction, nostalgia, and money all wrapped into one. And that may be exactly why people are paying attention. Because Mayweather vs. Pacquiao 2 is not just a boxing story anymore. It is a celebrity spectacle. It is about two legends whose names still carry weight, even when the public says the moment has passed. It is about the strange power of a rematch people may criticize out loud, but still watch the second it goes live.
I'm going to be there, and this is not actually a fight, it's an exhibition. Okay.
To understand why this rematch is getting attention, you have to understand what the first fight became. On May 2nd, 2015, Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Manny Pacquiao finally met at MGM Grand Garden Arena in Las Vegas. For years, fans had argued about who would win. Mayweather was undefeated, controlled, defensive, and almost impossible to solve. Pacquiao was fast, aggressive, beloved, and one of the most exciting fighters of his generation. The fight was not just promoted as a major boxing match. It was sold like history. And financially, it was. Reuters reported that the fight generated about $400 million in US pay-per-view revenue from 4.4 million buys. Later reporting around the rematch cited 4.6 million pay-per-view buys and a $72 million live date. That is the kind of money most events never come close to. But that is also where the strange part begins. Because even though the fight was a business masterpiece, the reaction was not simple celebration. Mayweather won by unanimous decision. The result was official. The numbers were massive. The event broke records. But many viewers felt underwhelmed. After years of build-up, the fight did not become the dramatic war some fans imagined. It was technical. It was controlled. It was Mayweather doing what Mayweather does. And for a lot of people watching at home, that was not enough. The fight became remembered in two completely different ways. On paper, it was one of the biggest boxing events ever. In public memory, it also became the fight that did not fully live up to the hype. That contradiction never really went away.
Manny Mayweather!
Then came another layer. After the fight, Pacquiao's shoulder injury became part of the public conversation. Some disappointed fans filed lawsuits connected to the injury issue. Those lawsuits were later dismissed, and courts did not allow unhappy fans to sue over the bout. But even after the legal side faded, the narrative remained. Fans still talked about timing. They still talked about disappointment. They still talked about whether the fight happened too late. And now, more than a decade later, the rematch is stepping into that same shadow. That is what makes this story so interesting. This is not two young fighters trying to settle a fresh rivalry. This is two global names returning to a moment that many people already judged once before. And that creates a different kind of tension. People are not only asking, who will win? They're asking, why now? They're asking, is this real? They're asking, is this about legacy or is it just entertainment? And because the names are Mayweather and Pacquiao, even the skepticism becomes part of the show. Netflix made the first major move. On February 23, 2026, Netflix announced that Mayweather and Pacquiao were officially set to face each other again on September 19th, live from Sphere in Las Vegas. For Netflix, this was not just another boxing match. It was a major live event, a global stream, a chance to take one of the most famous boxing rivalries of the modern era and turn it into a new kind of entertainment moment. Netflix's vice president of sports, Gabe Spitzer, called it a massive, full-circle moment. And from a publicity point of view, that made sense. The first fight belonged to the pay-per-view era. The rematch belongs to the streaming era. In 2015, people had to decide whether the fight was worth paying extra to watch. In 2026, Netflix positioned the rematch as a live global event included in all Netflix plans. That changes the public reaction. A viewer who might not pay a separate pay-per-view fee could still click play if the fight is sitting right there on Netflix. That is why the event does not need universal excitement to matter. It only needs curiosity. And curiosity is exactly what Mayweather and Pacquiao still generate.
The sport of boxing has truly changed. We have a lot of new companies, a lot of new faces.
Mayweather's official promotional message was pure Mayweather. He said, "I already fought and beat Manny once. This time will be the same result." That line protects the image he has built for years. Mayweather's public identity is tied to winning, control, perfection, an undefeated professional record. The idea that nobody could figure him out when it mattered. Pacquiao's message was different. He said, "The fans have waited long enough." That line points toward unfinished business. It speaks to fans who still feel the 2015 fight did not give them everything they wanted. It frames the rematch as something the public has been waiting for. So at first, the story looked familiar. Mayweather was selling dominance. Pacquiao was selling redemption. Netflix was selling the spectacle. Then Mayweather changed the tone. On March 29, 2026, Reuters reported that Mayweather described the rematch as an exhibition. His words were clear: "This is not actually a fight, it's an exhibition." That changed everything. Because an exhibition is not the same thing as a professional fight. It can still be entertaining. It can still draw attention. It can still make money. But it does not carry the same weight. It does not mean the same thing for legacy. It does not answer the same questions for fans. And with one statement, Mayweather created the question now hanging over the entire event. What exactly is the audience being sold? Is this a real rematch? Or is this a celebrity boxing event built around nostalgia?
I'm going to be there, and this is not actually a fight, it's an exhibition.
Okay.
Pacquiao did not let that version of the story stand alone. On April 3, 2026, Reuters reported that Pacquiao said the contract he signed was for a real fight. His statement was simple: "The contract that we signed is for a real fight." That response turned the story from a rematch announcement into a public contradiction. Mayweather says exhibition. Pacquiao says real fight. And suddenly, the biggest drama is not even about who wins. It is about what the event actually is. That is where the public image part becomes important. For Mayweather, calling it an exhibition protects something valuable. His undefeated record is not just a statistic. It is part of his celebrity brand. It is part of the reason people still talk about him with a certain level of fascination. If the rematch is an exhibition, then the risk feels different. The event can be entertaining without threatening the same legacy. For Pacquiao, calling it a real fight creates a different story. It presents the rematch as meaningful, competitive, serious. Not just two legends appearing for nostalgia, but one more chance to revisit the rivalry that defined an era of boxing conversation. So the disagreement is not a small detail. It affects how the entire event is understood. A real fight says one thing, an exhibition says another. And when the two biggest names involved appear to describe it differently, the audience is left with doubt. Then came the venue confusion. Netflix originally announced Sphere in Las Vegas as the venue for September 19, 2026. Sphere was a major part of the announcement. It gave the rematch a futuristic entertainment feel. It made the fight sound like more than a sports event. It sounded like a show built for the streaming era. But then Eagles announced additional Sphere concert dates, including Saturday, September 19, 2026. The same date. That immediately raised another obvious question. If Eagles are listed at Sphere that night, Where does that leave Mayweather versus Pacquiao? As of the most recent reporting, Boxing Scene said two officials close to negotiations indicated the fight would move to September 26th, with MGM Grand expected as the likely venue. But that detail has to be handled carefully. It is reported. It is not yet an official Netflix confirmation. And that is where the story currently sits, in a strange space between announcement and certainty. The rematch has been officially announced, but the format is disputed. The original venue and date are unclear. The latest reported date and likely venue have not yet been officially confirmed by Netflix. For a normal event, that level of confusion might weaken the hype. But for a celebrity spectacle, confusion can sometimes create more attention. People start checking updates. Media outlets keep covering the changes. Fans debate what is real and what is not. Critics say the event is unnecessary. Supporters say they still want to see it. And the story keeps moving. That is the power of Mayweather versus Pacquiao. Even uncertainty becomes content. This is why the rematch fits perfectly into modern celebrity culture. Because celebrity stories are no longer just about what happens. They're about how the public reacts before it happens, while it happens, and after it happens. A fight can become a headline months before anyone enters the ring. A quote can change the whole meaning of an event. A venue conflict can create a new wave of coverage. A disagreement over whether something is a real fight or an exhibition can become the main story. And through all of it, the public may still say the same thing. I don't care, while clicking every update. That contradiction is what makes this rematch so watchable from a storytelling point of view. People may say it is too late. They may say the first fight disappointed them. They may say they do not need to see it again. But Mayweather and Pacquiao are still names that carry history. And history has entertainment value, especially when it is unresolved. The first fight did not give every viewer the emotional ending they wanted. Mayweather won clearly, but the wider public conversation stayed messy. The business result was enormous. The fan reaction was mixed. The shoulder injury issue added more controversy after the fact. The lawsuits were dismissed, but the disappointment became part of the memory. So now, the rematch arrives with baggage. It is not entering a blank space. It is entering a public memory that already has frustration, curiosity, and unfinished debate attached to it. And that is why the question is not simply whether Mayweather and Pacquiao can recreate the past. They cannot recreate 2015. The sports world is different. The media world is different. Streaming is different. The fighters are older. The audience is more skeptical. So the real question is whether their names are still powerful enough to make people care anyway. And the answer appears to be yes. Because if people truly did not care, there would be no confusion to cover. No contradiction to analyze. No headlines about the date. No attention around the venue. No debate over whether it is an exhibition or a real fight. The fact that people are questioning the rematch proves that the rematch still has cultural weight. It may not be the fight everyone demanded, but it is the kind of event people recognize immediately. That recognition matters. In entertainment, a familiar name can be more valuable than a fresh idea. A rivalry with history can be easier to sell than a matchup that requires explanation. And Mayweather versus Pacquiao still carries a simple, powerful memory. The biggest fight that somehow left people wanting more. In the end, Mayweather versus Pacquiao may second not be remembered the way the first fight was remembered. The first fight was about finally answering a question fans had asked for years. The rematch is about something different. It is about whether famous names can still create a global moment even when the public is unsure it needs one. It is about whether nostalgia can still sell. It is about whether streaming platforms can turn old rivalries into new live events. And it is about how celebrity culture keeps bringing the past back, not always because the story is unfinished, but because the audience still recognizes the names. That is the real reason this rematch matters. Not because everyone agrees it should happen. Not because the details are perfectly clear. Not because the public is united behind it. But because Mayweather and Pacquiao still occupy a rare space in sports and entertainment. They can make people argue before anything has happened. They can turn confusion into coverage. They can make a rematch feel unnecessary and unavoidable at the same time. And that is the strange truth behind this whole story. Mayweather versus Pacquiao may second be the rematch nobody asked for. But if it finally goes live, millions may still want to see what happens, even if they are watching just to find out what they were watching all along. If you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe for more celebrity stories that explain the real story behind the headline. And before you go, comment your honest opinion. Is Mayweather vs. Pacquiao 2 a real legacy moment? Or another celebrity spectacle built on nostalgia? Is this fight 10 years too late? Thanks for watching.